going on, everybody? It's your boy Maxwell Smart here with you to do what I'm going to be doing is there's a lot of good college basketball people out there that can give you information on the transfer market and so on and so forth. I'm using a lot of my time right now to focus on the JUCO ranks and finding some of these hidden gems. And listen, I don't have to go pretty far outside the GTA to find my first one, and we're going to talk a little bit about him today. His name is Rudi Williams. He is a 6'3" point guard, currently at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. He is a sophomore there, and he is from the Hamilton, Ontario area. This is a kid that has just done a fantastic job in his second year in the NGCAA. And I think when you look at his numbers, they're reflective of the type of player that you're going to get when these D1 schools come looking at him. I'm going to go over a little bit about what I see out of this player, what I think his obstacles are, some of the highlighted characteristics that are going to make him attractive to a D1 program. I'm going to go over a couple of his stats, and then I will talk about a couple teams I think that he would fit in quite nicely with. So, first off, this is a point guard that has strived to persevere and grow at every level he's played in. That is quite evident just from watching him at Forest Trail. At Forest Trail, this was a guy that took a lot of shots. There wasn't a heavy emphasis on him distributing the basketball. And I think that in his first 2 years in Northeastern Oklahoma A&M, I think that we've seen him really be able to grow into the role. Let's not forget this is a kid that was not highly touted by North Pole Hoops as much as a lot of people thought that he should have. And I think that it's been reflective this year, at least, of how he's been able to develop his player profile. Um, when I look at this kid, this is a kid that averaged 12 and a half points in his first year in Northeastern Oklahoma A&M as a freshman, starting 20 out of 28 games. Well, this past year, not only was he able to up that production up to 21 points per game, but he's a solid free throw shooter. He's a consistent three-point shooter, and his ball distribution skills have blossomed. He is a two-way basketball player that gets on the glass, is not afraid to get to the itty bitty spots and get his shot and look for it. That is quite evident in some of the games that he's played, specifically this year. There's a couple games that really stand out, and that's plain and simply the Indian Hills College game that he played. This was a game where he was very efficient from the 3-point line, did a good job of attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line and making his free throws. And he played 42 minutes in an overtime game. So that's the type of player you're going to get. You're going to get a guy that's capable of putting up 35 points. He's going to be able to shoot and make at least 50% of his jump shots. He just takes very good care of the basketball, and that's quite evident. When you look at this particular player, this is a guy that is a hidden gem to some degree. It wasn't until this year that anybody at the D level was really taking notice of him, and I think that he could be given the right opportunity, the right coach, and the right system, one of the better point guards to come out of Canada in 2021. This is a kid that averaged, like I said, 21 points per game, shot 51% from the field. And the fact is, he's reliable. He's very efficient. This is a guy that he's liked by his teammates. He's liked by his coaches. And the point guard play is what really distinguishes them. A lot of people compare him to Justice Hill, another highly sought after JUCO transfer point guard. But I would rather have Rudi Williams, and not just because he's Canadian. This is a guy that can run the show for a coach at any level in college basketball. He creates off the dribble, and he has several different moves that he uses when doing so. His ability to pass the ball has improved, and I would even call it great now. And when you can dribble and keep the ball alive in tight spaces while continuing to have the vision to know where your teammates are, that is just a skill that any high major program could utilize. I think that what is very evident is every level, like I said earlier in this video, this kid has upped his scoring ability. He finishes at all three levels, and that's what's going to set him apart from other guys that he's competing with for high major programs. I personally think that there's two programs that he would work well in, and it's going to come down to a lot of decisions based on other players and other recruiting tactics. First off, Wichita State. Listen, we know that they've lost a shit ton of players, including Noah Fernandez and Grant Sherfield. Okay, those are your 2 point guards that were probably going to run the show for you. So why not look at a guy like Rudi Williams? Yes, you guys are looking at Justice Hill, they're looking at Trey McGowan's, and they're looking at Tajidi. But you want to bring Rudi Williams in, he's going to come in, he's going to score the basketball, he's going to give you minutes, he's going to play mature, responsible point guard position. I think that this is a kid that's going to really surprise. I think that with his ability to hit some 3 pointers, we're not saying that he's going to hang out there all day, and his ability to get to the rim and make free throws, that's a highly sought after skill, especially for a team like Wichita State that is going to have to contend with a lot of very good long on ball defending teams. That's plain and evident from what we saw this year. I don't think that the coaching philosophies are going to change that much when it comes to next year. I think that this is a Wichita State team that will need a offensive infusion, and Rudi Williams is the perfect guy to do so. So that's the first team that I think that he would be quite productive at. The second team is definitely something a team off the radar from a Power Five basketball fans knowledge, but sorry, that got out right. But this is a team coming out of the horizon in Northern Kentucky that's done a fantastic job in past years of attracting and signing JUCO transfers. I think that this is a situation this year where this is where they're going to have to go. You're getting a Tyler Sharp and Dantes Walton graduating, so why not get yourself a score first point guard who does all the good things in the half court? He takes care of the ball. He keeps the offense moving. He understands what his teammates positives and negatives are when it comes to getting to spots, shooting the basketball, and what situations to put them in. This is a kid that can step in for Tyler Sharp, who's graduating, and I think that he can be an impact point guard, whether starting or whether backing up Bryson Langdon. I think that Bryson Langdon definitely played well this year, but this is a situation where I think that if you upgrade with Rudi Williams, he is going to surprise you, and I think that any D1 program that gets this kid is going to be very lucky and very happy with what they get out of him. Obviously, I'd love to see him go to a place like UConn, but that just plain and simply is not going to happen. But I think that Rudi Williams out of Hamilton, Ontario is going to be a name that we learn and know and see perform on a bigger stage. So Rudi Williams, 6'3" 3 point guard out of Hamilton, Ontario, out of Forest Trail High School. Looking forward to seeing where he lands. Hope it is Wichita State or Northern Kentucky. All right, that's it for Rudi Williams, and I'm outie.